Welcome to Endless Nurses World. Previous video we studied about NCLEX basic information. Then now in this video we'll study about body fluids and electrolytes or body content water. Water content of the body. Water is a solvent, contains body salts and nutrients. In this, wastes are dissolved and it should be transported. The water content varies with gender, body mass, age. Adult is having 50 to 60 percentage, older adult 45 to 55 percentage, child is having 70 to 80 percentage of the body water. So in a normal adult, our blood is having 94 percentage, eyes 95 percentage, heart and muscles having 75 percentage, brain and kidneys having 83 percentage, and lungs is 85 percentage of water. Body fluid compartments. Our human body having two main compartments, fluid compartments, that is extracellular fluid volume ECF, intracellular fluid volume ICF. Extracellular fluid volume contain 1/3 of the total body weight. Intracellular fluid volume contain 2/3 of the total body weight of the water. ECF again it is divided into three: interstitial fluid, plasma and transcellular fluid. Major fluid compartments, this is a cell. Within this cell, the inside the cell water is present, is called intracellular fluid. It is 40% of the body weight. Then other outside of the cells, interstitial fluid and plasma both are extracellular fluid, contain 20% of the body weight. Extracellular fluid, extra means outside. The fluid is present outside of the cells is called extracellular fluid or extracellular fluid volume. It is divided into interstitial and blood plasma. Intracellular fluid means inside. Intra means inside. The fluid is present inside the cells. It is separated into compartments by membranes. For example, the mitochondrial matrix separates the mitochondria into compartments. Transcellular space. Transcellular space is the portion of the total body water contained within epithelial lined spaces such as cerebrospinal fluid, GI tract, pleural, synovial, peritoneal fluid, fluid of the eyes and joints. So some of the fluids are cerebrospinal fluid, synovial fluid, joint fluid, aqueous humous, ocular fluid, serous fluid in serous membranes of body cavities, gastrointestinal fluid, example gastric juice and other intestinal secretions, bladder fluids, urine, perillum and endolymph in the inner ear, pericardial fluid, intrapleural fluid. Interstitial fluid, simply it is a tissue fluid between the tissues. It is a mixture of water, ions and small solids. So functions of body water. Our human body water contains is needed to functions that is regulates body temperature, moistens tissues in the eyes and nose, mouth and maintain good skin, protects body organs and tissues, carries nutrients and oxygen to cells, lubricates joints and membranes, lessens burden on kidneys and liver by flushing out waste products, helps dissolve minerals and nutrients to make them accessible to your body, acts as shock absorber, medium for food digestion. Regulation of water balance. So first one is regulation of water intake. So in that intake minus output is equal to 0. It means the homeostasis is maintained. Then hypothalamic regulation, pituitary regulation, adrenal cortical regulation, renal regulation, cardiac regulation, gastrointestinal regulation, insensible water loss. Hypothalamic regulation, how it will works when there is insufficient water in the human body, increased blood osmolality causes stimulate the osmoreceptors present in the hypothalamus. It will stimulate thirst center, so will cause increased thirst, then increased water intake, decreased blood osmolality. So this is one of the mechanism. Then role of antidiuretic hormone ADH. What it will happen? Decreased water in the body elevates blood osmolality, stimulates hypothalamic osmoreceptors, It stimulates posterior pituitary to release ADH. ADH means antidiuretic hormone. Stimulates distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct, causes increases water reabsorption. It will lends to increases ratio of sodium and water in the urine and reduces the urine volume. Then adrenal cortical regulation. In that, the decreased water intake, the hypothalamus will stimulate pituitary, anterior pituitary through gonadotrophic releasing hormone. Anterior pituitary release ACTH, adrenocorticotrophic hormone. It will stimulate the adrenal cortex and release of cortisol, adrenal hormones, cortisol and aldosterone. Renin-angiotensin aldosterone mechanism. What it will happen when there is deficient blood supply to the kidneys, the renin released into the bloodstream. In liver having the angiotensinogen enzyme, so they combine to form the angiotensin 1 with the help of angiotensin converting enzyme. It is converted into angiotensin 2. Then what it will happen, it will cause vasoconstrictions and stimulate the aldosterone. So aldosterone, what it will happen, when aldosterone decreases the potassium excretion and increases the sodium absorption, what it will happen, maintain homeostasis and sodium potassium levels. Cardiac regulation, how it will happen means when there is increased blood volume, increased atrial pressure, it will release of ANF hormone. ANF means atrial natriuretic factor. It will cause vasodilatation, increased sodium and water excretion. Then homeostasis maintained. Gastrointestinal regulation means nothing but intake and output, water gain, water loss, or body intake, food and drink include 2.2 liter per day, or metabolism of food products gives 0.3 liter per day. Intake 2.2 liter per day plus metabolic production 0.3 liter per day minus output. Output in the sense the skin and lungs is having insensible water loss, that is 0.9 liter per day, in urine 1.5 liter per day, and feces 0.1 liter per day. So intake minus output is equal to 0 means the homeostasis is maintained. Insensible water loss. Invisible vaporization from the skin and lungs is called insensible water loss, that is normal 900 ml per day. This is all about general information related to our human body water. Thank you.